If you can complete these 9 football tests, then you have top 5% football ability.
So in today's video, I've got 9 tests, some physical and some skill-based, and I'm going to be showing you how well you need to perform to be in the top 5% of people. And obviously, I'm going to give them a go myself to see how I stack up. Now, this first test is an interesting one. How far do you need to be able to kick a football to be considered in the top 5%?
So the longest goal in football is 96.1 metres, scored by a goalkeeper. But to be in the top 5% when it comes to kick distance, we can take quite a bit off that. From this yellow cone to the touchline is how far you need to kick the ball to be in the top 5%. The average adult can kick a football around 40 to 50 metres, but to get in the top 5%, you need to be hitting over 70 metres. This yellow cone is 70 metres from the goal line, and that's what we've got to reach to be in the top 5%.
Right, so here's the rules. You're going to put the ball on the line on the edge of the pitch, and then you're going to kick the ball from the ground, and it's where the ball finishes rolling. That's your score. All right, I'm liking this ball. Feels nicely pumped up. Let's go for that top 5%. Oh, come on, that's got a chance. Go.
So I managed to make it into the 5% club, hitting the ball 80 metres.
Top 5%, let's go.
I also got a few mates to try this for comparison.
Oh, good effort.
Tom managed to hit 55 metres and Luke hit the 5% with 78 metres. So that's the first skill-based test complete. But next up, let's see what it takes to get into the top 5% of a physical test.
Now, the next test is one that is very important for football. How fast do you need to be able to run 100 metres to be considered in the top 5%? Now, the 100 metre test, obviously depending on what position you play, it has varying levels of importance, but it's always useful to see how you stack up when it comes to sprint speed.
Mbappe can run 100 metres in an estimated 10.9 seconds, but to be in the top 5% when it comes to speed, you need to be able to cover 100 metres in between 12 and 13 seconds. So I did my warm-up and prepared for the sprint.
If I'm honest, I've not got high hopes of making it in the top 5%. Sprinting has never been my forte. I'm not gonna lie, 100 metres is actually quite far. That looks a lot further than I thought it would be.
Then it was time to go.
That felt slow, I can't lie. It did look slow. Right, so I've got the timing and it was basically 15 seconds. That is so slow. I am definitely not in the top 5% when it comes to sprint speed.
So for the sprint test, it was really tough to break the 5%. But now let's move on to another test on the pitch.
Next up, we have the shot power test. How hard do you need to be able to kick the football to be in the top 5%? Oh. So to be in the top 5% of hardest hitters when it comes to football, you need to be able to kick the ball harder than 65 miles per hour. Now that may not seem that high, but when you consider most people can't kick a football at all, it's actually quite a lot of miles per hour. So let's do it and see how we stack up. So if you lined up 20 people, only one of them would be able to kick this football harder than 65 miles per hour. Let's see how we do.
So I went up first.
Oh!
And hit the ball 65 miles per hour.
Okay, I guess that's just about in the top 5%. I'm happy with that.
Tom was up next and he got 54 miles per hour. And finally was Luke, making it into the top 5%.
Oh, that felt good. 66, there we go.
Now, once again, I've got to reiterate, these percentages are based on the whole adult male population, not just footballers. So that's why some of the scores may be lower than you expected. Also, if you're a female or younger, then the scores that you need to get into the top 5% will be lower too. So make sure you take that into account when doing these tests for yourself and seeing how you stack up.
So this is the height of Ronaldo's insane header, 2.93 meters to be exact. But how high do you need to be able to jump to be considered in the top 5%? So I'm not getting that. But now let's do a test that I can use to find out if I'm in the top 5%.
So jump height is an important metric to test when it comes to football. It indicates the explosiveness of your legs. So here's how we test it, and can you make it into the 5%? First up, you need to find a wall. Then with a piece of tape, stretch your arm out as high as you can and stick it to the wall. Next up, take another piece of tape, jump as high as you can and stick it to the wall. Do this a few times until you get a good jump. And then measure the distance from the lowest tape to the highest tape. For the top 5%, you need between 24 and 28 inches, but I only managed to get 18 inches.
To 18 inches, which is definitely not top 5%, so I'm quite a way off there.
Which is about average, so not a great result for me. But next up, let's take a look at a skill-based test.
So next up, we've got another skill-based test. We're gonna see what it takes to be in the top 5% when it comes to ball control. So believe it or not, keep-ups aren't actually that easy for many people. So if you can do 100 keep-ups, you're easily in the top 5% when it comes to this. You'd be surprised how difficult people find keep-ups, and juggling a football is a really good way to judge ball control. So as I say, if you can do 100 of these, you are easily in the top 5% when it comes to ball control.
So there we have it, 100 keep-ups, and you find your way into the top 5%. But if you are younger, then you can reduce this number comparatively for your age. But 100 is a great number to aim for if you want to separate yourself from the crowd.
Right, so that's the ball control test done. Next up, let's move on to the strength-based test. So next up, we have a strength-based test. What does it take to be in the top 5% when it comes to raw power?
So strength obviously is important for football as it's a physical game. So let's see how I get on.
So the method we're going to use to test strength is of course the bench press. And to make it into the top 5%, you've got to be able to bench press your own body weight. So for me, that's 70 kg.
So for the top 5% of strength, your own body weight is the target. So if I can lift 70 kilograms on the bench press, that means I'm in the top 5% of relative strength.
All right, first up, 15 kilograms. This should be easy. So now I've got 45 kilograms on the bar. So we've now got 55 kilograms on the bar. Let's go. Right, 65 kgs. This is close to the top 5%, but I don't know if I'm going to get this. There we go. 75 kgs for the top 5%. Let's go. No. Ah, no. So for strength, I am not in the top 5%, but let's move on to the next test. So now we have a test for accuracy, but what will put you in the top 5%? Well, there is one test that's been used for years when it comes to deciding and working out how good someone's accuracy really is, and that is of course the crossbar challenge, and that is what we're going to be using to find out if we're in the top 5%. So I've lined up 10 footballs, and to consider yourself in the top 5% of people when it comes to accuracy, you need to hit at least 5 off the crossbar. Let's see how we do. All right, top 5%, let's go. Oh, not a good start. No. 1, 2, 3, yes, come on. 4, come on. Oh, come on, one more. No. I need this to be in the top 5%. Come on, kid. Oh! So close to being in the top 5%, but we didn't quite get there. Let's see how the lads do.
So Luke managed to hit 3 out of 10.
Oh.
And Tom managed to get 1 out of 10. So none of us were able to make it into the top 5%, but hopefully we can do better on this next test.
Next up, we've got a fitness test. This is the ultimate challenge of endurance, but can you make it in the top 5%?
So the bleep test is the ultimate test of cardiovascular fitness. Used by many pro football clubs, this test is feared due to its extreme difficulty. For this test, you'll run shuttles of 20 meters and progress through the levels.
Level 7.
5. To make it into the top 5% of people when it comes to fitness, you need to get over level 13 on the bleep test. I've previously spent weeks training for this and managed to get to level 13.1, and it absolutely destroyed me. So if you want to see how you stack up when it comes to fitness, this is the test you need to try. Now let's take a look at the final test. Are you top 5% when it comes to dribbling?
Now this next test is a way to figure out if you are top 5% when it comes to dribbling. Here's how we're going to do it. So when it comes to dribbling, there's a few ways we could test this, but The true test of dribbling, I think, is when you're running at the ball with speed. So the test is, how fast can you cover 50 meters with the ball? Mbappe did this in 6 seconds. But to get into the top 5%, don't worry, you've not got to go that fast. If you can get between 6.5 and 7.5 seconds, that puts you in the top 5% of dribblers. Right, 50 meters with the ball dribbling test. Let's go.
So I only managed 7.9 seconds, which is way off. No top 5% for me. Let's see how the other lads do. So Luke finds himself in the top 5% with 7.1 seconds.
1, go. Oh, big. Come on.
Tom also makes it into the top 5% with 7.2 seconds. Looks like I let the team down on this one. Leave a comment down below if you guys made it in the top 5% on any of these tests. I wish you the best of luck with these. Keep at it and keep working hard.